So, we're here again. Long time no see.
Welcome back to the show.
It's been a month. We're now on a monthly trekkin vibe.
It's the movement, catch the wave.
It's the movement.
We are living in Hanoi now. We are living in
This
Hanoi.
is our home.
Hanoi living.
Hanoi living.
So,
Andy's not with us. He's still in Saigon, but he'll be here in a couple days, and it'll be the trekyeah reunion.
Yeah. Nothing too crazy happened over the month, but I think the coolest thing was when I got my hair cut. Check it out.
All right, next topic. So,
yeah. So,
But Hanoi. So
Hanoi
first
is-
impressions of Hanoi, guys.
we're all wearing sweaters
It's
and
so
pants.
cold. It's so cold.
It's cold.
here.
we definitely underestimated, like, the whole time people are saying, oh, like in Saigon, they're like, oh, you're moving up to Hanoi, it's cold there. And we're like, yeah, right, okay.
We're from
Yeah.
Iowa.
They're from
Iowa.
Saigon where it doesn't get below like 60.
Yeah,
And we're like, it's not cold. Like, what? Oh, it gets like 50? Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
like in the classroom when the temperature becomes comfortable, my kids are like, it's cold. So I'm like, cold in Hanoi is like nice. That's what it's
Yeah,
gotta be.
yeah.
But
and the first couple
the first
days,
couple days it
honestly
was just
pretty
perfect.
nice, yeah.
But these last 2-3 days, it's really cold.
And it's really cold. It's like 50 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
Which is like nothing crazy, but it's always overcast and cloudy and no sun.
Pretty windy.
We came right at, like, I remember when I was requesting to transfer at my school, they're like, yeah, it's probably gonna be pretty easy to get somebody who just wants to switch shifts with you, because you're going to Hanoi, like, January is when Hanoi's weather gets really cold and uncomfortable, and Saigon is starting to get beautiful.
Yeah, it's like dry season when it's
Yeah.
just there's no rain or anything.
So, what did we do?
Yeah, I think we gotta go back.
People in Saigon telling you it's cold, from like an American from the Midwest, or it gets significantly cold. It felt like a first grader telling you that college is hard.
Yeah.
It's like, whatever. Is that a good analogy?
I'm
Give
not
me a
sure
thumbs
that's
up.
very good.
Comment your favorite analogy.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I
what
mean,
else
other
about
than the weather and being cold, I think
It's beautiful.
it's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in an Airbnb we got for the first week while we're here, while we look for an apartment, and we're right off the lake. It's just right around the corner from this house.
The
and it's-
lake. There's like 10 lakes.
There's a lot of
in
lakes,
there.
but
This
we're
is
by the
big
biggest
lake.
lake. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so we call
Which
it.
is-
So I call it the lake.
Which is not the best lake. There's a gooder lake.
It's so cool though, and there's a street right here where you can walk on without getting almost ran over every 5 seconds. There's a bunch of nice restaurants. It's almost the polar opposite of Saigon, at least like in this little micro area that we're in.
Yeah, we have seen very little of Hanoi.
But the vibes off to a good start.
Yeah, I'm living in the old quarter right now, which is like near the beautiful lake. It's like it's the commercialized district, tourist district.
And he's pretty defensive of his Hanoi.
Yeah.
It's very like small houses, old houses. They're very like stacked together. So there's a lot of people in a little area.
Just like Saigon.
Just like mostly like Saigon,
Yeah.
but the streets are a little different. They're a little wider, and there's more like trees, more like
Yeah.
whereas Saigon, you get those really straight
Tall ones,
trees.
super
Yeah.
high.
Here
up.
you get like the
There's
trees
a lot
that
more
reach
trees
over.
that are just
Yeah.
smaller, but they're more.
But they like
flexible.
reach over and
Yeah,
they create
yeah.
that arch,
Little
and there's
canopy.
like there's some lanterns beautifully hung.
Yeah.
Like, there's some beautiful parts of that old
And there's
quarter.
there's hills and uneven ground.
Yeah, that's
which
true.
is, like,
Saigon's very
hills.
flat.
Where are the
Like
hills?
like if you're walking along here,
Yeah.
the street by our house, and like there'll be like
Oh.
stairs that go straight down. It's almost like they go all the way down here. Whereas Saigon, like everything is on the same plane.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like
Yeah, Saigon's flat. How's the food been? How do you guys think the food is?
It's good. We haven't had a whole lot yet,
No.
but
Fried pho
the fried pho. So pho we usually get is in the bowl,
with soup.
the soup bowl that everyone thinks of, but this is the stuff they take to make pho, like the solids. It's just wrapped in rice paper instead of in like.
Why do they call it fried pho?
That's not the
It's
fried
not
pho.
fried
That's
pho.
the wrapped pho.
Yeah.
This is the wrapped pho. That's what I ate.
So
That shit
the
was
fried
good.
pho is like the it's like stir fried ingredients that you make pho.
Yeah.
And it's on top of these. They're like little pillows, fried.
Oh,
pillows.
those crunchies. I had that at the other place.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah,
those are
pretty
both
good.
good. I like the wrap though.
The wraps are good.
Yeah,
It's
right.
just like a bowl of pho. Ingredients are wrapped in like what do you call those? The rice
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 paper.
paper. Yeah, those pho sticks are good.
Pho sticks.
I'll call them
Yeah.
pho
Like,
sticks.
Give me a pocket full of pho sticks.
It's like pickle wraps, kind of.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
Honestly-
that idea.
Honestly, I prefer pho sticks because like fuzz just takes a long time to eat and it's like it's all over you and it's not all over you. It's
Just
just
slurping everywhere.
yeah
it's all over me, baby.
yeah with that stash ears.
Yeah.
Breaking
So
out the cookies.
speaking of pickle wraps, yeah. Well, I gotta shout out my grandma on this. I got some of my grandma's specialty cookies here, cause Evan went home for Christmas.
I went home for Christmas and
Picked
the
up
whole reason I
some-
went there was so I could bring some cookies back
some
for
big
Walker.
wraps.
But before we talk about that, let's talk about the biggest news in Vietnam right now.
Oh.
The reason I'm wearing this band here,
Vietnam.
Vietnam Vo Dick.
Vo Dec.
I can't say it.
Vo Dec.
Vietnam Vo Dick.
No, you say Vietnam.
Oh, Vietnam.
Vo Dec.
Đi bao.
That's different. That's not part of
I don't
this.
know, but it's like
Anyways, so Vietnam's U23 national team has been doing very well. They were in the AFC Cup,
the Asia Cup, like basically
Asia Football Conference or Asia
North
Football
Korea,
Club.
China, Uzbekistan,
Yeah. So, yeah.
Malaysia.
I think Saudi Arabia, Qatar,
Bunch of Southeast Asian countries had a
and
cup.
Southwest
and-
Asian.
Yeah, Southwest Asian as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's other countries, and Vietnam's team is usually not very competitive, but they did really well. They
They got to the final.
made it to the final.
And along the way, like they beat, they did pretty well in the pool play, and then they beat Iraq the first round, and it was they were all really interesting games. Like the Iraq game was 3-3, and it went into PKs, and like 4 of the goals were scored in the final, like
Yeah.
5 minutes or so. So then it went into PKs, and they won. They won the second game in PKs too against Qatar to get to the finals.
Yeah, and that game, I was in our apartment just working on my computer, and then I hear screaming, and I'm like, what the hell? And I thought people were getting hurt. Yeah, I knew either something really bad was happening or
This is
something
still
really
inside
good.
Yeah. Saigon, something really good or really bad, and then I look out my window and people are like wearing Vietnam shirts and they're screaming. And I was like, "What is going on?"
Mm-hmm.
And I saw on my Facebook feed, it was like a live feed of the game. Someone was sharing the game, and I saw they had just won. I was, that's so awesome. And then that night, it was a Saturday, and we went out to the bars. And on my grab bike on the way down, just everyone is on the street on their bike with like flags, t-shirts, hats, just Vietnam, and everyone's yelling. And apparently it's this thing they do. What is it called?
It's called Đi bao.
Yeah,
I'm
and
saying that wrong. I
and
probably
it
just called
means-
someone's mom something.
It means like
It means storm the street, basically.
storm the street. So like
They all get on their bikes and have, some of them are drunk, but they all get on their bikes and take Vietnam flags
Yeah.
on bamboo sticks, and they're all wearing stuff, and they're waving their flags
Yeah.
and banging like trash can
Yeah.
lid
Yeah.
clappers,
Yeah.
and
and they just ride the streets the whole night. So it was really cool to see. I've never seen anything like
it's
that.
wild.
And it's maybe comparable to like when your city wins the Super Bowl or the World Series, how
Yeah,
everyone's like
yeah.
rooting for their team and everyone's out in the street. But it's like it's the U23 like soccer national team. Like in the US, we don't even know if our US U23 team is even playing
So-
that day. Nobody cares about the U23 team.
U23 means people that are under 23 years old. I'm not a soccer fan and didn't know
To
that.
clarify-
And
though.
you might not even know we have a U23 team, but
To
there are
clarify-
like worldwide competitions.
To clarify, I want to
U23
clarify.
Why, like, one reason why it is significant, and this is what I heard, I have not fact-checked this at all, but if you win, like, the Asian Cup, you qualify for the Olympics, and Olympic soccer is all U23, but there's, like, some sketchy rule where you can have, like, 2 players that are not 23.
Olympic soccer is
Olympic
U23?
soccer. That's what I heard, yeah. But you could have, like, 2 players
I
that
don't know.
aren't. I heard it from people from my school that
Yeah.
live in countries that care about soccer.
Yeah.
And they said, like, there's a sketchy rule where you can have 2 players that aren't under 23, so it's like the U23 team and like David Beckham,
Yeah.
Steve Gerrard and shit like
and the
that.
Prime Minister.
Yeah, and the Queen's looking at us.
But no, yeah, like so it was cool because
everyone's super stoked.
Yeah,
So
everyone is so happy, and it's like the whole country.
It's the entire country. Like Jason said, it's like if your city won the Super Bowl, but it's every single city in Vietnam was lit.
Going wild.
Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. Lucky to be around for that.
It was really cool. It was cool to see, like, and even after they lost, like they lost in the final. We didn't tell that.
They lost the final in 1 minute away from going in kicks again. It was a great game
against Uzbekistan. But like I watched that game in class. I was showing it to my students. They were like, like 7 to 10 in that age, and they all got so sad, and I got so sad, and I looked down. I didn't really know what to do, and the teacher was sad. I was like, well, it's gonna be okay. It's all right. I had to turn it off and teach in English, but I was like, there's always, it's the future. They're young. They're a good team. So
yeah. Because we were in the restaurant for the final, and everyone was stoked, like just to watch the game. Anytime Vietnam like passed the ball like over the half line, everyone's like, like we might score. So like they were stoked, and when they did score, it was nuts. But when they lost, I guess you were gone.
I was gone.
Didn't see, I was like, oh man, this place is gonna like fall apart. Everyone's gonna be so sad. But it lasted like 15 seconds maybe, and then everyone was like, okay, well then they all started clapping, and it was just like they were just so happy with what had already happened that nothing could ruin it. And so everyone, like when the game was over, they were all clapping and still cheering, and I was like, what, we just lost. So it was cool to see somebody handle defeat that well. I haven't seen that. Most like crazy sports fans, as soon as their team is down, they just start crying. Mm-hmm. Like me, I would absolutely cry. But that was really cool, so good for them. Good for those guys.
Big sports guy.
Oh man, I love sports. Can't wait for the Super Bowl tomorrow.
So a few more things about Hanoi. I saw a pile of dogs outside of where I'm staying.
Like dead dogs?
Like cooked, stacked.
No heck.
Yeah. And they had a big hole in the back side where like they were stuck on
skewered.
the stick. Yeah. There was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like at least. Really like Heidi and everything. I mean, it's culture. You can't say it's wrong.
Right.
And you have the insight of like growing up around farms and stuff. Like we eat cows, and cows are. It's just like dogs happen to be.
A lot of people will argue on that point.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's just like
comment.
What
and
animal are you okay with dying for food?
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of it goes to like there is inhumane treatment of dogs.
There is absolutely, and that's why I haven't tried dogs yet.
There's also really inhumane treatment of
cows. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I don't really think we treat any animals humanely.
So yeah, there's more police here. Being the capital, or at least there's more visible police here. They seem to be everywhere, but whatever. Mm-hmm. Communism, socialism. There are worse drivers in Hanoi. Saigon, the traffic is more heavy. It's more congested. Like Saigon as a city, it feels more tight. Mm-hmm. Hanoi feels a little bit looser. And that leads people to being really shitty drivers from what I've experienced. They like swerve around. So if you are used to Saigon, be prepared for that.
He's an expert.
In your defense, in like
driving,
like he's been here for a week or less.
Yeah, a week now.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's also a target.
I've also gotten in a little accident on the back of an Uber here already, and like I've almost been in a few.
He was never in an accident in Saigon.
Never, on record.
That the police know.
Yeah, I was driving on this bridge over this giant river, and I'm cold. I'm sitting like this on the back of an Uber, and he drives in, but he tries to shoot the gap. There's a big truck right beside us. Like a refrigerator van truck.
So you didn't dodge
and I'm
it.
like this, and my right shoulder, I hit the mirror of like the moped beside me, and it like pulls me this way and throws the balance off, and then he goes like this way. into like the truck and the woman on the moped that was also trying to like shoot the gap. It was just a really bad.
Wait, so it was your gangly arms that started though,
dude.
It was just my arm caught the mirror.
I'm sitting
was
on
like
the back
this.
with my arms
I'm sitting in the back
like a normal
I'm sitting on the
person.
back
It's
like this, and let the record state that I do not have broad shoulders. It's a flaw, a fatal flaw of mine. So it's not my fault.
Okay.
And anyways, he like had to stop. He almost hit this truck and almost killed this woman, and they started screaming at him like "fucking Uber," some shit like in Vietnamese. And I just put my hand on him, stayed like this, gave him 5-star, gave him great conversation.
So I went back home for a month. We were separated for a month. I was back in Iowa. We're talking about how it's cold as heck here. It's also cold as heck in Iowa. I'm not going to go into it super crazy, but on the coldest morning, because I was still teaching English online, right? So I was teaching English at like 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning. And one morning I woke up
4 or 5 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah?
Redundant.
Oh,
Cut it.
Okay. Jesus heck, man. The coldest it was it was like negative 16 degrees Fahrenheit. And if you like use Celsius, like
Google it.
800%
Not our
of the
job.
world. Google it. But it's just ridiculously cold. Negative 16 degrees is just what? And that's before wind chill. So after wind chill, it was like negative 20, negative 30. We were actually colder than Antarctica that day.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, and I think it was like a couple days that week that we were colder. It was just 1 week, but it was really bad. My great uncle was like talking to me at our family Christmas and was like, "Oh, it's so cold out in New York, need a little bit of that global warming." Shut up. Reverse culture shock. Back home, I didn't know it was a thing. Like, people talk about reverse culture shock, don't really know. I was in Panera Bread, which, by the way, Panera has awful Wi-Fi. It's really bad. But anyway, I was looking around, and there were so many fat people. Okay, guys, let's not kid. Okay, people talk about how like obesity is a problem in the U.S. and you don't really see it until you come back because you're so desensitized to it. And like, I saw more obese people in Panera Bread than I had seen in 9 months in Vietnam, and that's not an exaggeration. And if I did see anybody that was obese, there was a good chance that they were white tourists from America or Europe. I guess I can't say that they're all from America, but yeah, that was, and I just felt really like weird, disgusted about it. And that was kind of like this reverse culture shock thing that I felt. Here, and also I should say, because I teach online and I work from home, the only thing I have to do is ever walk somewhere I want to go, or I get that I have to like take a motorbike to the bar or whatever. But like, for work, I can roll out of bed and I can work. And when I was at home, I was like working from a cafe a lot, or like anywhere I wanted to go. I needed to go to the gym. I needed to hop in the car and drive for 10 or 15 minutes. And here it was like I could walk 5 minutes to the gym. And so I just came to realize that, like, there are people who do 30-minute, hour-long commutes every day, and I know, like, you do, like, a 20-minute commute or whatever, like, pretty regularly or whatever.
To go to school?
Yeah. But, like, I haven't had to do that for a year. And so just, like, having to, like, invest over, like, an hour to an hour and a half of my day in a car, like, that was pretty crazy, because I would, like, go to and from the gym, and to and from the cafe or whatever, or like, like try to plan it the right way. But yeah, commutes, they're just thinking about how much time is wasted in a car. It's pretty crazy. So big advantage to not having to go to work. Also, the last thing was going to be is I definitely gained weight at home. Not a bunch, but it's just like when and I've talked about this, I don't know if I've ever talked about it on a trekkin, but like I can count the number of times on my hands that I've like overate, like in Vietnam in a meal where you're like, oh, uncomfortably full. That's happened a couple times, like when we're at 4-piece pizza, shoveling pizza down my throat. But at home it was like, once every other day, Noelle makes homemade enchiladas and I slide a couple of those down my throat.
Grease them up.
You hardly even chew on it.
Disgusting. You eat like a disgusting obese geriatric fuck. To be honest.
Whoa, the F-bomb. It's been a while since one of those in a trekkin. Anyway,
Wow.
whoa, sorry kids.
Yeah.
America, this is trekyeah, and we just like to say we're
sorry. The last thing I want to say, we visited our high school, and we just took some time out of our day to talk about, to tell high school kids that there's a bunch of cool things you can do out there, instead of, just kind of following the pack of fish and doing the same thing that everyone else does. I think like that was really cool because even though it was just us like just talking about our story for a couple hours out of the day, I think we definitely made a difference in some kids' lives and might help influence decisions they make in the future. And I think it's cool that you could volunteer, just as an example, like you could volunteer one day out of every year, and if we have made a difference in 1 or 2 or 3 of those kids' lives, that's super cool. And it was just one day of our year that we gave to some kids that we felt like we could give some insight to. So that was really cool. And volunteer. If you know something that other people don't know, tell people about it.
Yeah, unless it's your secret.
Unless it's your secrets.
But yeah, so right now we're just gonna toss it over to Andy. Andy's gonna
talk about his time back home.
Yeah, Andy, go ahead and get him.
Welcome to the show. The other guys are making me do a video from Saigon. I'm in Saigon, everybody else up in Hanoi, visiting my girlfriend for a week after I haven't seen her for a month, and then I'm gonna go meet up with everybody up in Hanoi in a few days. Just bought my ticket today, actually. And that's the show, I believe. Oh, I'm back in Vietnam now from being in Iowa, and it's weird how normal it was coming back here. Like, it's weird how not weird it feels. Being in Vietnam is very normal now. So, that's the show.
Alright, back to the show. Good
Hey,
stuff, Andy.
pass me those Sour Patch Kids, boy.
Good stuff, Andy.
Oh, that's good.
So I got a haircut the other day in Hanoi. I got referred. If you can see, it's looking pretty good. But I got a reference, a recommendation. Damn, dude, you took the only orange.
Go on, Walt. Keep
I
going.
regret it.
I got a recommendation from our boys down at Saigon Clippers, which if you're in Ho Chi Minh City, check out Saigon Clippers in District 10.
It's a good spot.
A $2 haircut that is worth it. At least.
You actually got a recommendation from here?
I was like, yeah, where can I get my haircut? He's like, go to Lee, the barber. He is our master. He taught us. I was like, okay.
He's Master Splinter.
Say no more. And so I went to this place.
Say no more
Yeah,
to the barber, dude.
I walk in. I'm like, hey, you fuck my shit up, and
that's too F-bombs.
Sorry, you too.
Sorry, Mike. I walk in, and he's like, yeah, it's really full. You're gonna have to wait like 2 hours. I was like, okay, I'll just come back another day. Can I make a reservation or something? And they're like, actually, we can cut your hair right now. Can we take a picture of you? And I was like, yeah, sure.
Put him into a
And
video.
so the reason it was really full is because there was a full like set and crew there from Hanoi TV. They were filming something about Lee the barber, the master, and
The Splinter.
and it was called Origins.
And so it's called Origins. And so I sat down and had this guy have a big old camera in my face, and they got my haircut. And then afterwards, they had me like say some things to the camera, like I had to basically like denounce my citizenship to America, say that the capitalist system has ruined my life.
It's really simple.
Yeah, it was so easy, and
I feel better now that I'm done.
I feel so much better.
Weight off my shoulders.
Yeah. So and then they had this guy like stand behind me, the guy who cut my hair, and I was like, where do I look? Like I'm sitting in the chair. There's a camera there. There's like everybody who works at the barber shop and who is like is like standing in a semicircle. I'm just like, where do I look? And they're like, yeah, look right in the camera. So I'm like staring at the camera, sitting in
You're
this
like,
chair.
capitalism is alive.
And the barber has his like hand on my shoulder, and he's like, like nervously. He's nervous. He's a barber. He's not an interviewee. And so he's like tapping my shoulder as he's like saying who knows what, and I'm just like staring in the camera, and I want to be like
this little capitalist slave here.
I want to like smile and like nod, but like I don't know what he's saying. So then like as I'm looking at the camera, I'm like, oh god, what if I'm like smiling and he's just like, yes, we saying like just
The same stuff
that we've just been saying, and I'm just like, yeah. So I try to like look at the camera, maybe a little seductive.
Maybe I'm not so in on this.
We'll see.
I'm dying in a vat in the garage.
Yeah, we'll see. But they also did that like I do when I don't have hat hair, I usually just I let it ride. I don't put anything in my hair. But in Vietnam and in America, a lot of places, they
try
really
to throw
like
some
to
gunk
puff.
in
They
your
he blow dries it and puffs it up, and I look like an absolute fool. Like
me too.
it's so stupid.
I'm always like, boy, don't you see this volume?
But like he's doing what he
in
thinks
there.
is best for the TV, I think, and so I'm like, whatever. I'm just his little Truman Show pony. I'm just gonna sit there.
Teaching stories. Yeah, it was a sad couple weeks in the Saigon years. Saying goodbye to all my students. There's one class I really liked, and I told them in like the last 10 minutes because I didn't want to tell them in the beginning because I could cry.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh yeah, hey guys, I gotta tell you something. No, you'll never see me again. And they were all like, I've told a bunch of classes that, and they're all like, oh no. But this one they were just like, what? And it was silent, and it was kind of scary.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, what do I say? And luckily I have this one guy, he's a little bit of a troublemaker because he's a good kid. And he goes, oh, teacher, have a wife in Hanoi. So everyone starts cracking up, and that kind of saves the moment. And then he goes, but teacher, no. Women in Hanoi, very ugly. And he's like, and I was like, oh really, how are the women in Saigon? And he said, very beautiful. And another girl goes, so cute. So that was pretty funny. And then he threw in, just to make sure I knew, he was like, women in Hanoi look like dog. So
It's not Maoist, I guess. Not trying to
No,
offend
no,
any Italians.
we found.
Don't edit
it's
that.
just what someone said. So luckily that cheered the class up a little bit, having a funny guy break that total crying moment. But yeah, we said bye to everyone and all the teachers and some of the friends we made, so that was kind of sad. But we start teaching up here this week.
But we're super insensitive and only care about ourselves, so it's not too hard to,
Yeah.
No, just see ya.
Yeah.
See ya, kids. Good luck with life.
Yeah.
So I've been teaching up here this week, and the lesson we're teaching, like we do like these sentence patterns, and it's usually like who and then some action, like who throws what, or like who puts what where, something like that. And when the students
how we doing?
Sure, if you will. So when the students really like you and you're a fun teacher, they try to put you into the sentence, like Teacher Walker puts his hair on a dog or something like that. And it's like, okay, sweet, yeah, good. It's fun, right? Because you're like, make your own sentences, get creative. You can use anybody. You can say Spider-Man,
You can use anyone, or you can just only use me.
You can use me. So this week, I wish they wouldn't have used me. The sentence structure
Walker
was,
is a subordinate.
listen, get this. The sentence structure is who blows what. Yeah, and they were struggling, and I really had to reinforce them. It's who blows what, not who blows who. And so, like some of the sentences I saw were the students blow. Teacher Walker and Teacher Walker blows my mom. And it was. I was crossing out. I had to check everybody's book. I'm like, no. And like, I can't tell them why they can't say it. I'm just like, nope, you can't say it. It has to be who blows what, not who blows who. Okay, who blows what? And it happened. I had 3 classes with it, and it happened multiple times in each class. I'm like, no.
You can learn and adapt.
So I have an interesting story about a student of mine.
Yeah.
His name's Peter. Okay. Peter's a really good student.
He's probably watching this.
He's probably watching this. Hi, Peter.
Peter, we need to have a talk.
Peter, you're gonna understand how I feel. Okay. So, late December, at the end of one of my classes, he says, "Teacher, Evan, I have a question. I said, "Yeah, what's that, Peter?" He said, "Do you have WeChat?" I said, "Yeah, I have WeChat." He's like, "Can I?"
What's WeChat?
Oh, it's a chat app, basically Facebook Messenger. Anyway, so he was like, I was like, oh, he's like, "Can we be friends on WeChat?" And I said, "Sure." Like, I didn't know if there was some line we were crossing or whatever, but
It's a little different when it's online.
Yeah.
It's not like you're just gonna meet up.
yeah. So anyway, we're friends on WeChat, and he messaged me like once, twice, said like hi, and I said hey, what? And I sent him a picture of like my brother in a Christmas tree, like "Merry Christmas, Peter," whatever. And then like early January, I was telling him I was going to come back to Vietnam, like the end of January, and he said, "Oh, like that's about the time I'm going to go to Japan." I said, "That's super cool. You're going to Japan, like that's super exciting. You're gonna have fun. Like, what are you gonna do?" He's like, like, "I don't want to go to Japan. I want to go to Vietnam and visit Teacher Evan." And I said, "Well, that's really cool, Peter. Like, you know, that's nice that you like want to come hang out with me. Like, that's cool." And
A really good trait in you.
yeah, super cool, man. And anyway, so then literally class last night. This is last night. He at end of class, he's like, "Teacher Evan, I have one more question." He said, "Are you married?" And I said, I just laughed, you know. I was like, "No, Peter, I'm not married." He's like, "I can be your wife." And I said, "Oh, Peter, like I don't think that's gonna work, buddy. Like, you can't be my wife." And then he kissed me goodbye after that. So virtually, of course.
Yeah. How's that?
Like, so the webcam's here, right? And so sometimes they'll say like, "Peter, like
I love you."
no,
Just
Peter,
absolutely lead him on.
yeah.
Peter, run away. Peter, like smacking us stuff. Peter,
No,
turn off the software.
I'll say Peter, like when I'm trying to like show him how to say a word, I'll go to the camera and say, right? So that's how he kissed the camera, and sometimes he'll come up and say. So anyway, yeah, he kissed me goodbye. I also just want to say, I've now 2 other teaching stories real quick. I'm teaching a little girl, 5 years old, and she's going from ground zero online,
Cool.
which is like kind of hard, right? 5-year-old who doesn't know any English, and so the first lesson is really like "Hello, how are you?" And that's all you teach them for 25 minutes. And it's one student, really, you know. So it's like kind of funny, and like, how do you do that? You whatever, and I've now taught her like 12 lessons or so, and it's cool, really cool to see that progression.
Because you know it's like it's you.
Yeah. And then also, another one of my favorite students, Arthur, super smart guy.
He asked for your WeChat.
Yeah, she is.
It's really cool taking them from ground zero because you can teach them and you can groom them to where, like, eventually a year from now she'll be adding you on WeChat. And
good guy, real smart. The other day I was like, "Okay, we're at the end of my lesson. I'm like, "Okay, Arthur, like, time for me to say goodbye." And he's like, teacher. He's like, "Thank you. Like, my last English test, I did really good." He said, "Thank you." Like, I was like,
that's
cool. You know?
Yeah.
Like, when you're really doing stuff for some kids is a cool thing. I do stand strongly behind teaching as our part-time gig. What a cool part-time gig.
Yeah.
It's been incredible.
I have a teaching story. So, before I came up here, I had this class that I had for about 4 weeks, and they were like a middle school-ish age class, but there was like 4 boys who were like 3 or 4 years older than that age, so they were probably around like 14, 15, around that age. They felt a little bit older, but I don't think they could have been. But their English was at that level, so they were in like a class that's usually younger kids, and they were just troublemakers, like always just telling jokes. They wouldn't listen to me at all. They were just in there because their parents made them take this class, but they were just like absolute troublemakers and smoked cigarettes, and they had tattoos and all that stuff.
Yeah, they beat your ass.
Yeah, they would. No, they wouldn't. I'd crush them. But so every class, like, and so it was like the girls on this side, these like 4 boys, And they were always did all their stuff, were really good, and I was just like in a fight with these guys all the time, just trying to get them to stop disrupting so I could teach these kids because they were great. And it was just a struggle every week. And then there's like this one kid who would just never stop talking, and I would move him to the middle of the class in a chair by himself. I would like every activity I would like give instructions, and then I would sit next to him and like do it with him so he wouldn't like mess up the class. And then there was like one day when he just started throwing things, and I was like super angry with him, and I like went up to him and I was like, you're either gonna leave this class right now or you're gonna do this. And everyone was like, oh, because I was like getting really serious with him. And
what did he do? What did he choose?
No one will ever walk out of the classroom. I didn't realize how good of a threat that is, because nobody will like straight up leave the class even if it's what they want to do. But it just like, and then as soon as he was like okay, and he like started working, and then I like went back over and started helping the girls, and like they did really good, so I was reading their sentences, and they like always put jokes in, and it was funny, and it made me think of like when I was in school. I remember when my teachers would like absolutely chew somebody out and then like turn to the rest of the class, and then they're like the color in their face would go away and they would just start going, and I was like, how, like, you must be a schizophrenic, how do you just like scream at somebody and then just go normal? And like that was, I realized I had like a total moment where I was like, I just did that. And I realized like it was in the mind of somebody I wanted to get in the mind of like 40 years ago. Like 15 years ago? 40? How old am I? 50? But so it was like really cool, and then I figured out why, and it's because you're so angry with this one student, but
you're
then when
so
you look
happy.
But yeah, it's all these kids like you really enjoy, and you really want them to learn, so it just switches gears instantly. So that was like one of the more interesting moments I've had as a teacher. So good luck to whoever's teaching that class now. Have a good one. How you doing?
It's funny, like classroom management as you become a teacher, like, and especially like in Saigon, those classes were like my first experience with in-class classroom management. I got too much sugar in my throat. So maybe get some Sting
cookies.
Wash down with good Sting.
Sting.
But like these students, these classes, I have experience, and I'm coming in like firing on all cylinders. Like there's trouble students, and I'm like squashing them out by kind of like, you know, humiliating them a little bit, like, but joking with them, like keeping them, you know, just like the tools of the trade. That it's like, okay, things right now at this new school, it's like there's some classes that are wild, and I'm like, okay, maybe things are gonna be all right. We'll see.
Well, that was a month of trekyeah.
How was the show? The full-length show?
Yeah, if you made it this far, wow, I respect the heck out of you.
Yeah, check out our better videos like Chuck's Burgers and the one where we drank beer.
Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I hope Andy did a great job too. And we will see you on the flip side, probably in at least one video this month. That's not another trekkin, maybe.
Next month is February, so you'll see our Valentine's track.
Oh, it's gonna be so sweet.
Yeah. Vietnam.
That's gonna
Bo
be
Dick.
Vietnam.
Bo Dick.
Vietnam.
Okay, rock and roll.
Alright.
Now it's time for me to finish my work.
You can't finish your work if you're in a company, dude. The work never stops.
Yeah, dude. That's a funny way to say things.